She booked the ride like she always did. Late evening, long day, just wanted to get home. The app showed the driver's name, car model, license plate, everything normal. Estimated arrival, 3 minutes. She stepped outside her office building and waited near the entrance. Streetlights were on, a few people nearby, safe enough. Her phone buzzed. Your driver has arrived. A gray sedan pulled up. Correct plate number, correct car model. She walked toward it. Before she could even open the back door, the driver rolled the window down slightly, looked straight at her, and said her full name, first and last, not just the short version from the app, her complete name, including the middle initial. Her smile faded. She hadn't said anything yet. She hadn't confirmed it was her, and the app usually shows only first name to drivers. She froze for half a second. Yeah, that's me, she replied carefully. But something felt off, because he didn't ask, are you Sarah? He said it like he already knew, like he didn't need confirmation. She got into the back seat slowly, closed the door, and that's when she noticed something else. His phone wasn't mounted on the dashboard. The navigation screen was off. He wasn't looking at directions. He was just looking at her, through the rearview mirror. He didn't start driving immediately, just sat there for a second, engine running, hands on the wheel, still looking at her through the mirror. Then he smiled slightly. Long day? He asked. Normal question, normal tone, but she noticed something small. The app still showed waiting for passenger, meaning he hadn't tapped start ride yet. Why? She glanced at his dashboard. No mounted phone, no visible navigation route. Most drivers keep their phone in clear sight, using GPS, tracking the trip. But his dashboard looked empty, almost too clean. He finally pulled away from the curb, still hadn't started the ride. Her heart rate ticked up. She opened the app discreetly. The map still showed her pickup location, no movement registered, which meant, officially, the ride hadn't begun. She leaned forward slightly. Did you start the trip? She asked casually. He didn't look surprised. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it, he replied. But her screen said otherwise. That was when she noticed another detail. Instead of taking the main road toward her apartment, he turned right, the opposite direction. She felt the shift immediately. That's not the usual route, she said carefully. He chuckled. Shortcut. But she had lived in this city for years. There was no shortcut that way. Her phone vibrated, not from the ride app, from her data usage alert. Her connection had just switched from 5G to no service. Her stomach tightened. The street they were on had fewer lights, fewer cars, fewer people. And officially, according to the app, she was still standing outside her office building. She didn't panic. Not visibly. Instead, she did something simple. She took a screenshot of the ride screen. Time, driver name, car details. Then she quietly opened her messages and shared her live location with her sister. Even if her signal was weak, sometimes it reconnects for a second. Sometimes that's enough. She leaned back in the seat and forced her voice to stay steady. Hey, I think the app didn't update. It still says we're at pickup. He didn't answer immediately, just kept driving. Then, without looking back, he said, Signal's bad in this area. But they were only 5 minutes from downtown. Signal had never dropped there before. She glanced outside. The buildings were changing. Less commercial, more residential. Quieter. She tried the app again. Still waiting for passenger. That meant one important thing. If anything happened right now, there would be no official trip record in progress, no tracked route, no active GPS trail through the company. Her pulse quickened. She slowly reached for the door handle. Locked. Child lock engaged. That detail hit harder than anything else. Child locks aren't usually turned on during rideshare trips. She swallowed, kept her tone calm. Can you unlock the door? I think it's on child lock. He laughed lightly. Oh, safety feature. Safety. The word felt wrong in that moment. Her phone flickered. One bar of signal. Just one. She quickly opened the ride app's emergency help section. It loaded halfway, then froze. The car slowed slightly at a dim intersection. No traffic, no pedestrians, just a blinking yellow light. And then, his phone, which had been invisible this whole time, lit up briefly on the center console. She caught a glimpse of something on the screen. It wasn't navigation. It wasn't the ride app. It was a contact photo. Her photo. Her breath caught in her throat. It was her profile picture, the same one she used on social media, not the cropped version from the ride app, the full image. She looked away quickly so he wouldn't notice she'd seen it. Her mind started moving faster now. This wasn't random. This wasn't just a driver forgetting to start the ride. He had searched her, before pickup, or worse, he already knew who she was. The car rolled past the blinking intersection and continued down a quieter street. Still no official trip started, still no route on her app. Her phone flickered back to one bar of signal. Just enough. She tapped the emergency call shortcut without making it obvious. Didn't press call yet, just opened it. Ready. Then she did something deliberate. She raised her voice slightly and said, "Yeah, I'm in the Uber now. We're about 10 minutes away." She wasn't on a call, but she said it clearly, loud enough. His eyes met hers in the mirror again. The smile faded, just slightly. She continued, "Yeah, gray sedan. Plate number ends in 482. She made that part up, but she said it confidently, like someone was listening. The car slowed. He finally reached toward the center console, picked up his phone, tapped the screen. Her app refreshed. Trip started. Location updated. Movement tracked. Official. Documented. The relief was small, but real. He cleared his throat. "Sorry about that. App glitch." She didn't respond, just watched the map carefully now. They were still off the main road, but at least the route was visible. Then he spoke again. "You live alone?" The question wasn't casual. It wasn't small talk. It landed heavy in the air between them. She didn't answer the question. Not directly. Instead, she smiled faintly and said, "No, my brother's waiting up." It was a lie, but she said it without hesitation. She kept her eyes on the map. The route now showed a turn coming up. Left would take them back toward the main road. Right would go deeper into a quiet residential area. Her pulse rose as they approached the intersection. The signal turned red. The car slowed. For a second, she considered hitting the emergency call button, but then she noticed something important. On the corner ahead, a brightly lit convenience store. 2 people outside. A security camera clearly visible above the entrance. Bright lights. Public space. She leaned forward slightly. "Can you pull over there? I forgot something at the store." Her tone was calm, casual, like it wasn't urgent. He hesitated, just for a second, then nodded. "Sure." The car rolled toward the store and stopped near the entrance. Before he could say anything else, she opened the app, tapped End Ride, left a neutral rating without comment, unlocked the door handle again. This time, it opened. No child lock. She stepped out quickly, didn't run, just walked straight under the bright lights and into the store. When she turned back through the glass window, the gray sedan was still there, engine running, for a full 10 seconds. Then it drove away slowly. Not fast, not dramatic, just gone. Inside the store, her hands finally started shaking. She checked the ride history. Now that it was officially started, the route was recorded, even the brief detour, documented. She immediately reported the trip through the app, included screenshots, mentioned the ride not starting, mentioned the off-route turn, mentioned the personal question. She didn't accuse, she just described. Clear, factual. The next day, the driver profile was no longer visible. Account unavailable, maybe suspended, maybe under review. She never got full details, but she didn't need them, because what stayed with her wasn't the detour, it wasn't the locked door, it wasn't even the question. It was that first moment when he said her full name before she ever confirmed it. If you got into a ride tonight and the driver knew more than the app showed, would you still sit down or would you close the door? That night, she didn't go straight home. She stayed inside the convenience store for almost 20 minutes, pretending to browse, letting her heartbeat slow down. Under bright lights, around people, where everything felt visible. When she finally booked another ride, she double-checked everything. Plate number, driver photo, trip started before the car moved, and this time she shared the ride link immediately. No hesitation. The next morning, she received a message from the platform's safety team. They thanked her for the detailed report, said the trip had been flagged, said the account was under investigation. They couldn't share more for privacy reasons, but the profile was gone. That was enough. She replayed the night in her head over and over, the delay in starting the ride, the detour, the locked door, the personal question. But what unsettled her most wasn't the route change, it was how small the warning signs were. None of them dramatic on their own, just tiny details, easy to dismiss, until they start connecting. Now she does 3 things every time she books a ride. She confirms the trip starts before moving, she shares her location immediately, and she listens carefully to how the driver says her name. Because sometimes the difference between a normal ride and a dangerous one isn't a dark alley, it's a small app glitch, a locked door, and someone who knows more about you than they should. If a driver said your full name before you ever confirmed it, would you still get in?